This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday the 24th day of August in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Former Minister of Citizenship Winston Felix has broken his silence on the granting of citizenship by naturalization to one of the suspects in the alleged Ponzi scheme that is now part of a major multi-agency probe. Mr. Felix, in a statement today, said the Attorney General Anil Nandlal is guilty of spreading misinformation, with his recent statements attributed to the Department of Citizenship and Felix's tenure there in relation to the suspect. Mr. Felix said, contrary to what has been said in the media, the Guyana Securities Council never informed him about any investigation of the Cuban national, who is a suspect in the matter. He explained that he did receive an anonymous tip in an undated and unsigned letter about Cuban nationals who were married to Guyanese being involved in an alleged illegal finance trading scheme and were seeking nationalization. Felix said that information was received on the 28th of August 2019. He said on the 4th of September 2019, he forwarded the information and the unsigned letter that was received as an anonymous tip to the Commissioner of Police seeking an investigation and for appropriate action to be taken. The former minister, who once served as police commissioner and crime chief, said he instructed his staff that the application by the suspect and any other person associated with him be put on pause until such a time that the police investigation was completed. He said his instructions were followed. Felix said the suspect had married a Guyanese national, and according to the provisions of the Constitution, he sought Guyanese citizenship through naturalization, but the application was put under investigation. Mr. Felix said although the man's application for citizenship was published in the newspapers, the Guyana Securities Council never informed him of any probe against the man, and no one else ever came forward with any claims against the man. According to the former citizenship minister, it was not until April of this year, 7 months after he requested an investigation, that the police commissioner informed him that following advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions, the investigation against the Ponzi scheme suspects was closed. He said with the investigation closed following advice from the DPP, there was no other circumstance that was restraining the Department of Citizenship from moving ahead with the man's application for naturalization and citizenship. Felix said it is unfortunate that except for an anonymous letter, none of the 17,000 persons allegedly affected by the Ponzi scheme responded to the notice published in the daily newspapers about the man seeking citizenship through naturalization. He said it appears as though the investigators were deprived of essential information necessary to build a strong case against the alleged perpetrators. The Attorney General Anil Nandlal last week announced a multi-agency investigation into the alleged Ponzi scheme. Several persons have since come forward claiming that they were duped of millions of dollars after they invested in the financial trading scheme, believing that they would be receiving up to 3 times the amount of their investment. In a press conference over the weekend, the Attorney General said the investigation will be far and wide as they try to get to the bottom of the alleged Ponzi scheme.
An investigation has begun. The principal operators or the operators who are principally involved in the management of this alleged financial scheme are currently in custody, assisting the police with their investigation. The government of Guyana wishes to assure that our main priority is to ensure that if this scheme is unlawful, and from all indications it is unlawful.
Attorney General Nandlal said it is being hoped that they will be able to get back the money for those who invested. The 2 main suspects in the scheme were arrested last week. Charges are still to be filed against them. More news coming up in a moment.
Spend $3,000 in fuel at Falls Gas Station between August 3rd and September 30th and get a chance to win over 100 weekly prizes, or $3,000 in our recently renovated supermarket and you can win weekly prizes and one of 2 great food hampers in our summer promotion. At Falls, we provide a safe environment for you to shop, and you can choose from a wide range of products at unbeatable prices too, along with excellent service of course. So shop now at Falls and make this a summer to remember.
Hello, my name is Clyde De Haas and I am the Managing Director of Unicomer Guyana Inc. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted us all, but I promise you, we will get through it together. Shopping in this new environment could be daunting. However, we have fine-tuned our protocols to ensure we have a safe and comfortable environment for our staff and customers. Our store teams are observing the 6-20-100 protocol. That is 6 feet social distancing, washing hands for 20 seconds, and ensuring every day their body temperatures are below 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Additionally, all staff and customers are required to wear face masks when inside our stores. We are sanitizing all frequently touched areas, including door handles and counters, several times a day. Our service technicians and delivery team members will utilize full PPE when visiting your home. All these measures are to ensure we minimize any risks to you or to our staff. You can also shop with us via telesales or online at shopcoach.com. We are well prepared and ready to help you find the products you need in the safest way possible.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
New to online learning? You're probably wondering what it's like. Our online platform creates an engaging learning experience. Using any device, you can be a part of amazing class discussions, collaborate with others, and have access to virtual learning software with the help of our experienced tutors. With our multiple payment methods, you will never have to leave home. Find out how tech can allow you to learn anything, anywhere, at any time.
Welcome back. Chairperson of the People's National Congress Reform, Walden Lawrence, appeared in court this morning to answer a charge of allegedly procuring the returning officer for Region 4 Clermont Mingo to utter false results to the Chief Elections Officer. The charge was filed by PPP member Charles Ramson Jr. back in March. He also filed a similar fraud charge against the returning officer. In court today, attorney Glenn Hanneman presented himself as the attorney representing the interest of Charles Ramson Jr., and he told the court that the Director of Public Prosecutions will be taking over the matter. Lawrence's attorney Nigel Hughes said he found it strange that Hanneman would make such a declaration when the matter was filed since back in March and the DPP never got involved in it.
Mr. Glenn Hanneman, who is appearing for Mr. Ramson in these proceedings, then informed the court that he has contacted the DPP and the DPP is going to take over these proceedings. Now this is most unusual because in these circumstances, before the charge was even read to Ms. Lawrence, there clearly was an attempt by Mr. Hanneman to contact the DPP so that the DPP can then instruct the police to start an investigation. The assumption is when you have filed a charge, you have already gathered enough evidence upon which you could have filed the charge. So we're in a curious position in Ms. Lawrence's case.
After listening to statements by the two attorneys, the Chief Magistrate set bail in the sum of $100,000 for Walden Lawrence. Outside the courthouse, scores of supporters gathered. Ms. Lawrence said the charge filed against her is fictitious and is nothing more than an attempt by the PPP to embarrass members of the former government.
They're trumped-up charges, they're fictitious, they're meant to incite and to lay blame and to humiliate, but I want to say that I am not going down. The truth will prevail. The truth will prevail.
The matter will come up in court again in a few weeks' time. It is likely that the DPP's office will review the charge. Well, days after the Guyana police force indicated that the Director of Public Prosecution has taken over the private criminal charges against the Chief Election Officer, it appears as though the DPP has not yet made any move in that direction. When the Chief Election Officer, Keith Lowenfield, appeared in court this morning for the continuation of the matter, there was no representative from the DPP's chambers. However, the attorneys representing the agents of the PPP and the New Movement Party who filed the private charges told the court that the DPP should be in receipt of new evidence and statements related to the case. It was explained that the Director of Public Prosecutions was still to make a decision as requested by Mr. Lowenfield's attorney as to whether she will withdraw the charges against him. The presiding magistrate has now pushed the case back to the 11th of September, hoping that by that date there will be some indication on the way forward from the Director of Public Prosecutions.
We are waiting on the DPP for her to appear on the 11th and indicate that she has looked at the documents and she will take over. But the DPP representative has not indicated to the court this morning that they have taken over. All he has said to the court that DPP is looking at the documents available to her, and on the next occasion they may say something, but as of today the charges is still a private criminal between Morian and Lowenfield. Nobody else.
The private criminal charges are related to allegations of fraud and misconduct in office in connection with one of the reports of the final election results that was prepared by Lowenfield. The Office of the President on Saturday announced the appointments of 3 advisors to the government. Businessman and current chairman of the Private Sector Commission, Captain Jerry Gavaya, has been appointed the National Security Advisor to the President, while leader of the Liberty and Justice Party, Lennox Schumann, will serve as the advisor to the Public Works Minister in Civil Aviation. And Ralph Ramkaran, who heads a new and united Guyana party, has been appointed as advisor to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Both Schumann and Ramkaran campaigned in the last elections as presidential candidates for their parties. The 2 parties are part of a joiner list that will be taking up 1 seat in the National Assembly. Mr. Schumann is expected to take up that seat. In the Memorandum of Understanding for the joiner list, the leaders of the JLP, ANUG, and the New Movement agreed that under no circumstances will they join the government of the party that obtains a plurality of majority for the purpose of obtaining ministerial or other governmental office, or to give a minority government a majority. The appointments as advisors to the government have taken immediate effect. Gavaya has been involved in the airline industry for several years and operates a ground handling security company at the Chetty Jagan Airport. His airline operates local flights from the airport at Ogle. Gavaya is also a former military officer who has served in a number of private sector organizations for years as a businessman. Lennox Schumann is an airline pilot with license to operate from the US and Canada. He's also a former Tushao. And Senior Counsel Ralph Ramkaran is a former Speaker of the National Assembly and has sat in the Advisory Committee on Border Issues for several years, serving under the PPP and the coalition governments. The government is expected to announce several other key appointments in the coming days. Well, while refusing to offer clarification and details, the recently appointed Minister of Public Service, Sonia Parag, today claimed that the former APNU-AFC government ran what she called the heavily flawed scholarship program that only catered for one demographic, according to her. Pressed by reporters about what she meant by one demographic, Parag shied away from answering the question and instead said she prefers to leave it at that. The Public Service Minister said she intends to fully review the government scholarship program, which falls under the Public Service Ministry, since she is convinced it only catered for a specific group of people.
That the system that we have for vetting scholarships, that system is heavily flawed. It is heavily flawed. This is what I have personally observed. And that is something that I plan to review and I plan to change.
Minister Parag said as part of her review move, she wants to ensure that an equal opportunity is provided to all applicants for government scholarships. She said persons who might have applied in the past and not granted scholarships should reapply. In its first 2 years in office, the APNU AFC granted almost 900 scholarships across the 10 regions of Guyana. Well, 2 days after the Working People's Alliance, through its secretary, announced that the party was withdrawing from a Partnership for National Unity, longtime WPA member and party chairperson Tabitha Sarabo-Halley has tendered her resignation from the party. Contacted yesterday, Ms. Sarabo-Halley would only confirm that she has indeed resigned from the party. She said she will release more information at another time. But news source understands that Sarabo-Halley may not have agreed with the position of the secretary and some other members who wrote the APNU chairman announcing the party's withdrawal from the partnership on Friday. In announcing that withdrawal of the party from the partnership, the WPA also requested that the names of the two candidates from the WPA chosen to serve in Parliament and under Regional Council also be withdrawn. Sarabo-Halley, who is the former Minister of Public Service, is the candidate who was selected by APNU Chairman David Granger to serve in Parliament as part of the APNU AFC coalition. In a recent interview, Mr. Granger expressed confidence in Sarabo-Halley and noted that she worked hard for the APNU AFC on the campaign trail during the last election. The WPA in its withdrawal letter accused Mr. Granger of not consulting with the party about who should be its representative in Parliament as part of the APNU. But Sarabo-Halley was among the names submitted to the APNU by the WPA to serve as a national candidate in the last election for Parliament. Her name was submitted last week to the Elections Commission as part of the new APNU AFC members of Parliament. The APNU chairman, David Granger, who is the head of the candidates list, has indicated that his preference for the 12th Parliament is for more women and more young people to serve as the face of the future on the APNU AFC's side. Still in politics, while boasting that it was the best performing new party at the 2020 regional and general elections, the 10-month-old Change Guyana party has announced that it is being dissolved, well, at least through the eyes of the chairman, Nigel Hines. In a statement signed by the party's chairman, Nigel Hines, the prime ministerial candidate, Mitch Kapuran, and 3 other executive members, it was noted that the majority of the party's leadership made the decision that the dissolution of the Change Guyana as a political party is in the best interest of its members and supporters. The party's founder and presidential candidate, Robert Badal, is not in agreement with the decision and did not add his name to the statement. He also told news source that as far as he's concerned, Nigel Hines no longer speaks for the Change Guyana party. He said in his view the party is not dissolving. But in thanking its supporters, Change Guyana said of the 6 new parties that contested the elections, Change Guyana received the 2nd most votes in the regional elections and the 3rd most votes in the general elections. The result stands as a testimony to its courageous outreach efforts across the country, the party said. Change Guyana also said that its uncompromising and courageous conduct during the elections was to ensure a democratic transition based on the majority votes. The party said its former leaders and members can now work independently or collectively towards building a new political movement or political party or pursue their own goals while always being appreciative of those individuals who supported and continue to seek a change in the political structure in Guyana. Across the Region is coming up next.
New to online learning? You're probably wondering what it's like. Our online platform creates an engaging learning experience. Using any device, you can be a part of amazing class discussions, collaborate with others, and have access to virtual learning software with the help of our experienced tutors. With our multiple payment methods, you will never have to leave home. Find out how tech can allow you to learn anything, anywhere, at any time.
Spend $3,000 in fuel at Falls Gas Station between August 3rd and September 30th and get a chance to win over 100 weekly prizes or $3,000 in our recently renovated supermarket, and you can win weekly prizes and one of 2 great food hampers in our summer promotion. At Falls, we provide a safe environment for you to shop, and you can choose from a wide range of products at unbeatable prices too, along with excellent service, of course. So shop now at Falls and make this a summer to remember.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
Across the region right now, the government of Grenada has now placed Trinidad and Tobago in its medium risk travel category in wake of COVID-19. This means that any passenger arriving from Trinidad and Tobago in Grenada will be mandated to show a negative COVID-19 test result at the port of arrival. The passenger will then be mandated to spend 14 days in quarantine. Previously, Trinidad and Tobago was in the low-risk category in Grenada, which required all arriving passengers to show a negative test, and there was no need for quarantine. According to health officials, Grenada is continuously assessing the global COVID-19 pandemic as part of plans to either remove or include countries from travel risk categories. The categories are low, medium, or high risk, as reflective in the number of COVID-19 cases during a 14-day period. In neighboring Trinidad and Tobago, nationals are being warned against participating in ventures commonly known as pyramid schemes. In a statement, the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission said the schemes are currently being heavily marketed to nationals of Trinidad and Tobago through online chat groups and via virtual meeting platforms and by direct face-to-face contact. The persons have been warned that the schemes require persons to join groups and make an initial contribution of money with the promise of a significant payout or return on their contribution at a later date. The financial institution said the early contributors to the scheme are paid from the money contributed by newer members, and that existing members are encouraged to recruit new persons so that they can move to a different level. The regulatory authorities in Trinidad are advising the public to remain vigilant and report any fraudulent activity to the fraud squad of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. And finally, at this time, international news. At least 12 persons were killed as two storms tore through the Caribbean on Sunday. Hurricane Marco and Tropical Storm Laura brought high winds and rough seas, leaving at least 9 people dead in Haiti and another 3 in the Dominican Republic. Heavy rains have also battered Cuba and the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico. Marco is expected to make landfall in the U.S. state of Louisiana later today, with Laura hitting Texas by Thursday. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said that Laura was expected to strengthen into a hurricane by early tomorrow. Forecasters also say that Laura may swing east towards Louisiana, and it could be the first time in recorded history that the state has been hit by 2 back-to-back hurricanes. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.